All right, Jet fans, welcome back to another edition of Jets Therapy. Gordon and Dan here. We're going to talk out this Thursday night game, TNF, on Amazon Prime against the Jets and the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence versus Zach Wilson. Or if you're asking Trevor Lawrence, it's Trevor Lawrence versus the Jets defense. We got James Robinson playing his old team. If he starts, Dan, I don't know. But we'll see. Should be a good one. Primetime game. First of the season, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Feels like it, at least.
Feels like it.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We're going to be breaking down the upcoming Jags game, which is tomorrow, Thursday Night Football, like Gordon said. A big one, a primetime game. This is a I'm excited for this one because it's kind of like, it's not Zach's last shot, but I think it's his last shot this year at least. If he goes out tomorrow and he plays poorly and he misses those layups, and then he's not finding any flow offensively, and he's kind of looking like the Zach Wilson of old, we're going to see Mike White versus Seattle, and we're going to see Mike White at the end of the year versus the Dolphins. And then I think next year there's just going to be a full-out quarterback competition before the year starts, which there still might be no matter what happens. Yeah. So this is one of those make-or-break games for Zach just in general, and I kind of love the fact that it's going to be rainy and windy, because the last time that he had those windy conditions, we know he made excuses for why he played poorly. Like, I can't throw the ball in the wind. If you're a franchise guy, if you're the guy who everybody says that you are, or everybody who says that you can be, well, then you will win in spite of the conditions. You will win, and you will find a way. You might not throw for 400 yards because of the rain and the wind, but throw for 230 yards with a touchdown or two, get the running game going, and the Jets have a chance. The Jags are a good team. They've been playing better recently than ever, but the Jets not out of this one, and I feel Zach is going to build on his last game.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you're right. And see, I kind of feel the opposite way about this being Zach's last chance, because this is the Jets' last chance of making the playoffs, right? Like this, they got to win this game. They have to win all three. They got to win out. So if they lose, it's like, what do we do those last two games? Do we see what we have in Zach Wilson? Like, do we, you know what I mean? Or do we already know enough of what we have in Zach Wilson? Do we want to see more of Mike White against that I don't want to say struggling, but against that Seattle team? Do we want to see more of him against, do we want to see Mike White against that Miami team? So I agree. It's kind of got to be like, I don't know what we're going to see after this game. And I think a lot depends on if we win or not. If we win and Zach does his thing and wins against the Jaguars, then what do we do against Seattle again and Miami at the end of the year? Mike White, we're thinking Mike White's going to be healthy. He'll have that extra 3 days, because we got an early game this week, so to heal up and get ready. But it's going to be certainly going to be interesting. But you said it, dude. Trevor Lawrence is on the ascendancy right now. He's feeling good. I think he's thrown like 1 TD in his last 5 or 6 starts or something like that. So he's balling out right now. He's found his groove. Doug Peterson seems to be the magic worker for him. So it's going to be a good matchup for sure against the Jets and Jaguars this weekend. Or this Thursday. So.
And I would really like to see Mike LaFleur starting to build on Zach's strengths a little bit more. We know that he's not the best middle of the field passer in the world. So Zach's success is going to be reliant upon our run game, honestly. Yeah. And I know that it wasn't there last week, and Zach still played relatively well to an extent, but it was those deep balls that he was hitting. It was scrambling around, right? It was the play action. He was able to find the open guy. He was allowed to he was able to allow his offense to kind of open up, and find the open receiver. And for that to be able to happen, and for him to be able to be successful and win games within that scheme, if you're going to be that type of gunner, you need to have a running game, especially in the rain and in the wind. Yeah. Because, I mean, in the offensive line took a lot of credit for kind of poor performance. Dwayne Brown came out today.
I was about to say that. Dwayne Brown came out and said they got to do better.
He was like, I can't really put my finger on exactly what's going on, but we need to be better. Things have just been kind of weird, I think, were his words. Yeah. And establish the run game. Dude, just activate James Robinson. I mean, I love Bam Knight. He didn't do much last game, Michael Carter's been kind of hot and cold, on and off. He's,
Yeah.
but like just throw James Robinson in there. I think we saw enough from him to an extent to be able to be like, you deserve to be active, during this
I'm
game.
curious if that I think I saw something that he needed like 600 more yards to get a bonus activated in his contract. So I'm curious if that has anything to do with it. That would kind of
600. That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen in these next 3 games for sure. So I would be surprised if we don't see him, but it was conditional. I think we traded a 6 for him or whatever. What the pick goes to the higher round if he gained a certain number of yards. So I wonder if that has anything to do with it and just kind of blanketed over by the fact, we want to see what we have in Bam Knight. But I agree with you, dude. I think we're begging for that ground and pound power back. And I think that's exactly what James Robinson is. It's what Ty Johnson wants to be, but we haven't really seen much of him recently. So yeah, dude, I agree. I want to see the run game get established to help Zach out a little bit. And yeah, dude, I was reading a lot of comments online saying that like people, MLF has to play to Zach's strengths. And people were like, oh, well, we can't run and bootleg all game. Well, yeah, no, he can't, but got to do more than like 3 or 4 of them. And I think we only saw like a handful of those types of plays.
And that was exactly my point.
And when we did see those plays, Zach Wilson bombed it down. You know what I mean? Like that was when he had his best throws. So like you said, I want to see him play to Zach's strengths a little bit more than what we've seen. And again, that doesn't mean play action bootleg every single play because you can't do that. That's not sustainable. But throw a little bit more in there and get him going, get that confidence back, get those juices going. Because I think that's when we see Zach at his best. You know what I mean? Last year against the Jags, he had that was like 50, 60-yard touchdown run. So like, I want to see confident Zach Wilson. I want to see loose Zach Wilson balling out. And, I really hope we do. So.
And he's going to have to use his legs this game.
Yeah.
This is going to be one of those games, dude, especially with the conditions.
Yeah.
You have to pick up 8 to 12 yards with your legs. And the thing is, that's another one of his strengths. I haven't liked the fact that we just simply, for some ungodly reason, we don't utilize him with his legs. I know that you're a franchise guy and you don't want to see him get hurt and whatever it may be. Dude, you need to have some designed QB runs in my mind. Have some draws, whatever it is. That is one of his strengths. So he's a gunner. He can throw the ball down the field on play action. He can use his legs. And then let's establish the run game. The defense is going to show up. Those different components, we don't need to see Zach throwing 14-yard slants over the middle to Elijah Moore. It's just not what he does at this point. And I'm not saying it's not what he's going to do potentially in the future. He can learn those things. That will be great. But for right here, right now, Zach is trying to play loose. He's trying to have fun. He's like, I'm just kind of looser out there. I'm just trying to go back to my roots and just enjoying this game.
Yeah.
And those are the things that he does best. He picks up chunk yardage with his legs. He throws the ball down the field, establish the run, give him little, like legitimately, like little easy screen passes that are 2 yards where he just throws a dart right to him.
Yeah.
He can hit those. We know he can hit those. Some of the other ones. He can hit the little too. I know he threw that pick to Ty Johnson that one time. But those little things, stay away from the middle of the field slant, stay away from the whatever they're called, the down and outs or whatever, or the down and ins or whatever. Stay away from that stuff. He's not good at it. And that's not his strength. Play to his strengths. Let him use his legs. The defense will show up. They're going to hold Jacksonville to like 20, 23 points, I would say, at the max. I know that Jacksonville's surging and whatever it may be. Yeah, the Lions had one of the best offenses in football too. And guess what? They scored 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
So, like, we need to start being realistic about how good this defense is. Play to Zach's strengths, run game, defense will win the game.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting Quinnen back, so yeah, you kind of alluded to it right there. We're getting Quinnen back. That's going to be huge for our defense. The defensive backfield has been a lock all year, so I'm not too worried about that. I'd like to see a little more out of Quincy Williams. I think that was one thing he kind of, I don't want to say went a little quiet against the Lions, but it was his guy who scored the touchdown on against the Lions.
Yeah, they did ask him about that.
Would like to see a little more of him. But dude, like you said, Zach's not the type of quarterback that this scheme or this style of offense calls for. So what I want to see is a little bit of flexibility on the coach's end of letting them play a little more open and loose and just see what happens. I mean, maybe that'll happen if we lose this game because the last 2 games don't matter necessarily because we'll be out of the playoff hunt. But like, we've got to win, and we got to win right now. And I think we need to win by whatever means necessary, or by whatever means necessary. So we'll see what happens.
I still like the fact that technically, in my mind, I know that we're out of the playoffs right now, but in my mind, we still are in control of our destiny when it comes to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true.
The Patriots have the Dolphins, the Bills, and the Bengals. They are going to lose one of those games. There's 0% chance that they beat all those three. I'm sorry. There's just not.
Yeah.
So we win out, they're going to lose one, and then we're in.
And but winning out's tough, dude. We haven't won 3 games in a row this year. You know what I mean? So we haven't done that yet.
Have we not? No, we have. I think we did when Zach went on that streak, right?
Zach was 5-2 before he was benched. I don't think he bookended those Patriot games. So I don't think we've won 3 games in a row this year. I could be wrong.
But... No, I think you're right. Because the stat was for the longest time we haven't won 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Going back to 2 seasons ago, whatever it was. So no, I would believe that. So obviously, I mean, wouldn't that just be the story?
That would be it.
Zach, and I'll close it out with this. Zach has had one of the most tumultuous starts to a young quarterback's career, right? He's been hurt twice.
Yeah.
He comes in, he shows some flashes last year, kind of looks like the guy kind of does similar things this year, hurt in the beginning of the year, gets a late start. You see some signs of success and some signs of a franchise guy. Then he gets benched due to poor play. Now he's back again after someone else's injury, and he doesn't even know if he's going to start the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Imagine just if he becomes the guy, this is the type of pass that I feel your quarterback can have, or not needs to have, but can have, in order to be like, I've been through it. I've been through the ringer in New York. I've taken the punches. I've been the dude that everybody points the finger at. And now I'm ready to step up and be the guy that everyone says, you're the reason why we won. You put us in the best place to be successful, and it was because of your play that we got these wins. And I think if he plays well versus Jacksonville, he's going to start versus Seattle. He's going to start versus the Dolphins. And wouldn't that just be the story?
I don't see how you drop him. If he beats Jacksonville, I don't see how we drop him.
You can't. He wins 3 games in a row. Yeah. If we get to the playoffs and we lose the first game, whatever, that's maybe here and there. That's fine.
We still made it to the show, Dan.
Yeah, we still got there. What a story this would be, and it's right now. It's right here. This is where the Zach Wilson story can begin. The last 3 games of the season, just like you said, he wins 3 games in a row. He leads his team to the playoffs, and he comes back with more confidence and more competence next year to be the dude. What a story that would be.
I mean, he ended the season really strong last year. I think it was 4 games without interceptions. I mean, he threw one last weekend, but we still got these 3 games left over. And again, Zach seems like that type of guy to rise to the occasion. I'd hope so. I mean, this is a big game against Trevor Lawrence, 1-2 out in the draft 2 years ago. So it'll be a good one. And again, it's under the brightest of lights, Thursday Night Football. So
yeah, man.
All right, Jet fans.
I love it.
That's it. That's all we got. Rest up. Have a Merry Christmas. We'll be back before Christmas to film our breakdown, probably, right? Yeah, we'll probably film our breakdown.
Yeah, we'll have it up
before Christmas, but
all right.
Got the tree and all.
Yeah, you're looking good, man. Very festive. I like it. And I like that a lot too. All right, JDTS, everybody.
Jets.